TryHackMe.com. In TryHackMe.com, I am at level 2 log analysis and log operations. This is 60-minute easy learning contents. So let's do all the tasks one by one. There is help, save room, likes. Okay, you can ask the community if you don't know anything. Let's go to task 1, introduction. Log operation. The first thing come to the mind regarding the log analysis is to open the door to the adventure of looking for a needle in a haystack. In the case of incident investigation, are you lost in the space? Are you lost in the log space and wasting your precious time? If so, it's time to do something about log configuration. Okay, what we are going to learn, like understanding the logic of log management and configuration. Familiarize with log configuration approach. Experience the log configuration process. Okay. Read the above tasks. No need to answer. Complete. Okay. Let's go to task 2, log configuration. Log configuration option. Do you dare to configure your log, or are you happy to be lost in the madness of thousands of lines? In log operation, there are multiple concerns about the configuration approach, and identifying suitable configuration approaches. This could be a pain point. Log configuration is a multifaceted operation that addresses security, operational stability, regulatory compliance, and debugging need. Adequately configured logs are crucial in cybersecurity. Let's look at the scope and difference of common purposes log configuration. Okay, this is the security purposes for log configuration, operational, legal, and debugging. Security purposes are logging and configuration for security purposes typically planned to detect and respond to anomalies and security issues. For example, to verifying the authenticity of users' activity, to ensure the authorization control and timely detection of unauthorized access. Okay, it mainly focuses on anomaly and threat detection, user authentication data, ensuring the system integrity and data confidentiality. Okay. And operational purposes is logging and configuring for operational purposes is usually planned to detect and respond to the system errors and identify action points to enhance the system performance, continuity, and reliability. Main focus is proactively creating report and notifications for on-system and component system, troubleshooting, capacity planning, service billing. And legal purposes are, this is similar to security purposes. It is usually planned to stay compliant and increase the alignment with the regulation obligations. The law, the regulation, and the compliance standard will vary depending on the work scope, data being processed, and services are being provided. Therefore, each enrollment will come with a set of responsibility and guideline. That is ISO, COVID, GDPR, etc., etc. These are the standard and legal compliance examples are the company must have an active central log management system, adequate log configuration. Okay. All the security checkup. Okay. Now, fourth is debug processes. Logging and configuration for debug process is usually planned to boost the system reliability and enhance provided feature by discovering bugs and potential false conditions. This configuration scope is not always implemented in the production environment and mostly used for testing and development. Okay, the main area of focus is increasing visibility for application debugging, enhance efficiency, speeding up the development process. Which of the given log purposes this would be the suitable to measure the cost of using a service? Okay, which of the following given log purposes would be suitable to measure the cost of using service? To measure the cost of using service. So which is suitable? Debugging purposes, legal purposes, operational purposes, and security purposes. I think security purposes is best suitable. Let's test. Security purposes. No. So I think operational would be its final answer. Operational purposes. Why it is giving me error? I think service name is only required. Okay, operational is correct. Now let's move to task 3. Now second question is, which of the following given log purposes would be suitable for investigating application log for enhancement and stability? Debugging purpose, legal purpose, operational purpose, or security purpose? For application, mm, for investigate the application log. Okay. First is security purpose, maybe operational, legal, or debugging. Maybe debugging or security would be suitable. So let's check security. Oh, I think debug log purposes will be suitable for investigating log. Yes. Now let's move to task 3, where to start after deciding the log purposes. If you already have objective and scope plan but need help knowing how and where to start, you can use the meeting and brainstorming methods with your team. That might sound passive, but you will start rolling a ball for brainstorming, which will help you consider multiple aspects and create a drafting plan. Okay. Question to ask in planning meeting. What will you log? How much are you going to log? How much do you need to log? How are you going to collect the log? Or how are you going to investigate the log? These all are questions which will be asked in the meeting. So you are a consultant working for a growth company. As a consultant, you participated in a log configuration planning session. The company you work for is working to get complaint, process, payment information. Which question's answer can be as much as mentioned in the PCI DSS requirements? What is this? I don't understand this question. Okay. You are a consultant working for a growing company, and as a consultant, you participate in the session. Okay, the company you work for is working to get complaint to process the payment information. For payment information, this company is working to get a complaint as a log, and what questions answers can be as much as mentioned in this requirement. What question? I think I will select any one of the question which is related to my question, my head in description. So what will be the answer format? Okay. For complaint to process the payment information, you have to store the log legally with the standards within the boundary of the law. So will this work? This will not work. What questions answers can be as much as mentioned in this requirement? I don't think this will work. Let's investigate more. What is their PCI DSS requirement? Which questions answer can be as much as this? Which questions answer? Okay. How are you going to log is this doesn't work. How much do you need to log? How much do you need to log? This could be the answer, I think. How much log do we need to collect for this company's work is for working to get the complaint process payment information. For that information, how much log? I think this. Oh, yes. Oops. Your answer is correct. How much do you need to log? Yes. This is working. Let's go to task 4, configuration, dilemma, and planning and implementation. It has requirements, aspiration, resource, investment. So configuration dilemma reflects the challenges of implementation. This highlights the previous task, its logging with responsibility and guidelines and challenges. This means the log configuration and logging are more than a simple practice of enabling logging from assets and surviving among the thousands of lines. Okay. The main point is meeting specific operational and security requirements while considering improving the capacity by implementing the additional data and insight. Okay. Last but not least, risk assessment. Compliance and legal needs will be helpful. I don't think I have to read everything. Translation requirement and aspiration to operational level. Take a closer look at exactly how the dilemma arises or arose. Basic requirement, aspiration for better insight. What happened? When did it happen? What time? Okay. Where did it happen and who caused this error? For which log, from which log sources? Okay, this is the basic one. In aspiration, is it possible to have more data? Is it possible to have more data, more detail? Okay. How sure Can it I be that this is true? What is affected? What is affected? What will happen next? Is there anything else? What should I do about the incident? Okay, this is higher level of thinking, and left side is basic thinking. While focusing on the main, while the main focus is the same, two questions set, two representative, two distinct dimensions of logging analysis. Okay, nice. I have one question. Which requirements are non-negotiable? Okay, which I think which requirements are non-negotiable? I think meeting a specific and security requirements are not negotiable, or security requirements are non-negotiable. Yes, I think the answer would be this both or single. I think operational and security requirements are not negotiable. Oops. Yes. Now the task 5 is principles and difficulties. Logging principles. This is critical aspects of cybersecurity and IT operation. It is a process that is as burdensome as functional and requires active resource utilization. Therefore, it is crucial to implement the proper logging operation and ensure its effectiveness and efficiency. Okay, there are multiple principles that helps achieve mentional. Okay. Okay. Logging principles are this collection, format, archiving and accessibility, monitoring and alerting, and challenges are data and volume noise, system and performance, collection, process and archive, security in ensuring data security is a task or challenge itself, analysis is a combination, combining, correlating, and analyzing the data for multiple and MISC, miscellaneous planning. Where to go from here? The mentioned principles and challenges are common and can vary according to your case. However, main point is adhering. Your team is working on a policy to decide which log will be stored and which portion will be available for analysis. This is the hint. Which of the given logging principle would be implemented and improved? Okay, your team is working on policy to decide which log is stored and which portion will be available for analysis. Let's find out. Okay, I think we have to find out from table. Collection. Define logging purposes. Collect what you need for storing and utilizing from that stored portion of log. Okay. Store log data and make sure the important part is available for analysis. Okay, yes, this is, I think, the answer. Let's see other also. Storing, I think this is the answer. Let's find out. Oh, yes, 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 I'm genius. Okay, go to next. Your team implemented a brand new API logging product. Okay, one of the team members has been tasked with collecting the logs generated by the new product. Okay, new product generates log. The team member reported continuous error when transferring log to review the to the review platform. Okay. new product is generating log, and when transferring, it is getting error. In this case, which of the following difficulties occurs? Difficulties means challenges, data volume and noise. I don't think this data volume and noise. Having multiple data sources to deal with different log volume created by applications. Some applications generate insufficient amount of log, large applications can generate massive volume. Okay, some log can be non-essential. System performance and collection maybe. I think this will be answer. Log collection can be slowed down. Systems are not always state of the art. Some incidents are impossible to touch. Many system generate version. I think this will be the answer. Let's check system performance and collection. Oh no, this is not answer. Now next is process and archive. Having multiple data format to deal with, parsing data format in time consuming and error prone. Balancing log retention can be challenging, especially when dealing with the regulation. I don't think this is confusing. Security data and tax analysis. Combining coercing multiple to understand the time-consuming process, achieving real time is another challenge, avoiding false positive. Let's check this analysis. I don't think this will be the answer. Oh no, this is not the answer. Your team implementation of brand new API logging. One of the team member has been tasked to while with collecting the logs generated by the new product. A team member reported continuous error when transferring the log to review the platform. Okay. Lack of planning or roadmap, lack of financial budget, lack of implementation scenario. I think MIC is also having multiple data format, parsing different sources is time consuming, balancing log retention can be challenging. Error is shown, error prone. It could be the answer, I think. Oh, yes, this is the answer. Process and archive. Okay, let's go to next. Let's go to task 6, common mistakes and best practice. We are in task 6, common mistakes and best practices. Common mistakes and best practices, that is, logging is a powerful and a valuable tool for cybersecurity and IT operations, but harnessing this power and maximizing it takes solid planning and implementation. Otherwise, logging will be insufficient and make things difficult to do. Okay. In addition to high and low level details, strategies and suggestions discussed until this point. A few more things require your attention. This is a continuous and live operation which needs continuous maintenance and improvement. Therefore, if it works, don't touch. Approach is unacceptable. The threats and computing technologies evolves and change. You must update your configuration and adopt the changes accordingly. Okay, let's see. Learn from mistakes and failure. Track the sectoral threats dynamic for operation sector and conduct regular scope. Follow best practices for the industry. Okay. If you ever think about how important to reconfigure, update, and test your existing log configuration, please consider the following real-life experience faced by millions of people worldwide. Experience log analysis nightmares due to improper log configuration. Okay. The more problem is The improper log configuration cause the error due to experience. Storyline Microsoft 7 as the default logging configuration provides 0 log. Okay. Attack detail. Damage full access to victim. Impact high. Note Windows 7 exploit. Okay. Let's leave it. Common mistakes and best practice. Common mistakes don't. Best practice too. Okay. What are the common mistakes? Logging sensitive information, creating log by yourself, having uncollected log, okay, collecting everything but not analyzing. And what is the best practice? Create a suitable log configuration and plan according to your system. Secure your logs, okay. Update and maintenance. Let's go to question directly. What is the question? As a consultant, you are doing comprehensive task assessment and notice that the one of the development teams implemented a custom script to generate log for an old system which omits logging at some point. What would you call this, mistake or practice? As a consultant, you are doing comprehensive task risk assessment and notice that one of the development team implemented a custom script generated for an old system which omit logging at some phrases. Okay, this is a mistake because we cannot generate a log from the old system which remove our logs at some phrases. This is not acceptable, so I think this is a mistake. So let's check it. Oh, yes. Yes. I'm right. Let's go to conclusion. Users means the log operations, fundamental of log, using logging use cases, common mistakes to be learned. Now you have a solid understanding of overall log operations and are ready to fly to the log universe. Okay, what where you experience hand-on experience aspects of the log operations. Proceed to log universe room. Okay, no need to answer. Hooray, congratulations, you have completed